Well, hello, I'm Ed Parco, one of the hosts of what are we today? Helping the Brave. There we are. So too many podcasts these days. Amy and my other co-host is Amy T. Meyer. How you doing, Amy?
I'm doing well. Welcome, everyone.
The funny thing is I'm not used to doing this anymore because you've been doing all so basically how this works is whoever brings the guest is the speaker that day, talks about everything. And Amy's been doing everybody lately. So I'm lucky to be able to bring on Brandi Benson. Brandi, thank you for coming today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to talk to you both. So this is going to be great.
Okay. You don't have to lie. It's okay.
Oh, I'm excited. I can't wait. It looks all super official. Everyone has their headphones on. I'm like, I need mine. I don't want to have any.
That's okay. This is what, just comes with the mic and everything else that we have. Now, the main purpose of Helping the Brave is to help people understand the transitioning out of the military and through life and how we can help other vets. I think one of the biggest problems we run into is after we transition, we lose that connection with other vets and how, who we're used to talking to. You might not know I'm prior Navy. Amy is Army and Navy. She couldn't figure out what to do, so she went in both services. And then you were Army.
I was in the Army. Yep.
So why my son's in the Army? He is a medic and airborne up in Alaska. So wow. Why did you pick the Army?
Well, there's a couple of reasons why. So I originally wanted to join the Air Force. Okay. Wanted to join the Air Force. I thought it was going to be less dangerous, according to what the recruiters were saying. And I wanted to leave like right then and there. I wanted to get out of Illinois where I was at. And there was a waiting list. I believe it was like 6 months or something. And I was like walking out and a recruiter came out from the Army area. And he was like, hey, we can get you gone by next Wednesday. I was like, what? So I was sold.
Wow, that was
I was out. It wasn't really next Wednesday, but it was a faster process rather than waiting for 6 months. I really wanted to go and do something.
Is it a common theme that everybody goes to the Air Force first and then in the Army?
I don't know.
Because my son went to the Air Force and they wouldn't guarantee his thing. So, and then he talked to the Army. They're like, oh, yeah, you can get that, and we can have you at MEPS this week. Let's go.
Right. Maybe it is. I'm not sure what everybody else's experience is, but I know from mine, I just wanted to go there because I heard it was less dangerous. That's all. There was no reason like one's smarter, one's better, or whatever it is. I wanted to go to the one which was less dangerous. And so I picked the Air Force, but it didn't work out like that.
But you got the Army.
I got the Army.
I was going to say I went to the Marine Corps first because my dad was a Marine. And they're like, yeah, women, we're not that interested. And, literally.
That was a long time ago. It's okay.
It was a long time ago. And then every time I went to the Army recruiter, my dad put a Marine Corps poster in my room.
To remind you.
Right. And so I probably went to the Marine Corps recruiters 3 times and like still not interested. And they're like, no.
Wow.
Okay.
That's well, Army wanted you. You got in the Army, right?
Mm-hmm. I wanted to go in the Marines, but I heard they were really like hardcore. So I heard it was like super intense. And I was like, I don't know if I can do that. I don't remember what the PT, how like the difference is for the runs and stuff, but I believe it was like a bigger difference. And that's another reason why I didn't go to the Marines. I was like, I don't think I can do all of that. That's just too much. So
yeah, for me, I was stationed at Camp Pendleton and I oversaw taking care of the Marines as a corpsman. That's what we would do. And they are very abusive to their people. And I mean that to get them in the position that they need them to be. There is no, I'm not doing that, sir. I don't, where, they can get away with that now in the Army. And because my son was when we went to his boot camp and everything. And he's like, I can't believe they fall down. They say, oh, I don't want it. And they let them go. They don't have to hike or march and stuff. It's like,
yeah, it's different now. So my sister was a drill sergeant just a couple years ago. And so she's like talking about the difference, how it was 15 years ago versus how it is now. I feel like they were verbally abusive. I don't know if that's okay to say or not, but I feel like they were very in your face with military and basic training and AIT. Like, there wasn't much like talking back and stuff. I feel like it's very different than it is now, because they were cussing at us and they were calling us all types of crazy names, and you just had to stand there and take it. But it's different now. So it's interesting.
Yeah. Well, we'll see in 15 years if it's good or bad now. Right.
That's true. As time evolves, we'll see the product that they're producing. Yeah.
Right. Yes. And that's things change. You do different things change. I'm different. I'm old school that if you can't take that pressure, you shouldn't be there. Because that's not what, I mean, if you're just going to be administration and whatever, that's one thing. But I mean, for most of these people, at one point, you're going to get given a gun. You're going to have to do something with it. I've heard stories where these guys are telling me that people are like hiding, crying behind a rock instead of fighting. And they're like, you get your ass up and fight, or you don't have a choice. I mean, you need that person there to back you up.
Yes. Yes. You are defending somebody's life. And they're doing the same for you. And you need to be, you got to buck up and get strong and fight. It's super scary. I got deployed and I was like, what did I sign myself up for? Like, holy, I couldn't believe it. I was in shock for a while, but you have to get used to it, and you have to do what you have to do to survive. Oh my gosh.
So you want to tell that story? How you were deployed, what happened, and then get into the other thing that.
Sure. Okay. So I got into the military in 2008, did basic training, did AIT. I got to my main duty station, and it was at Fort Carson in Colorado. And I was there for 1 month and 9 days. And I was doing Iraq training. So everything we were doing was just more training, just getting ready to be deployed. So as soon as I found out I was being deployed, I was like, how is that possible? Like, I just got in the military. I've been in for like maybe 6 months. Do they do that to people? Is that allowed? I was just so confused. I was like, why are they sending me so soon? Like, I'm just learning how to do all this stuff. So I get deployed, go to Iraq. I was stationed at this place called Fob Echo. It was in Diwania. It's like 100-something miles south of Baghdad. We go there. It's considered like a little red zone. We get bombed all the time, mortars, all of that, attacks, all of that. And around December timeframe, like Christmas time, I start experiencing like extreme fatigue. Like I've never been so tired ever in my life. And I thought maybe it was because I was in the middle of a war zone. I'm away from my family. I'm young. Like, I'm kind of like, this is a new experience for myself. So I chalked it up to being like stressed out. And that's why I'm, experiencing this tired lethargicness. And then a month later, I was working out really, really hard. And for some reason, I decided to do this really random stretch that I never did. I pulled my leg up to my chest, and I was just laying on my back on the bed. And there was like this lump sticking out. And I was like, oh, that's strange. Who knows what that is? I'm not even sure. So I show my roommate, I show a couple friends, and everyone's like, oh, that's really odd. Like, maybe you should go to the medics and see what it is. And I'm like, I don't know. So I waited another week, and the whole time I'm like moving it around and trying to push it. It's not moving anywhere. It doesn't hurt, like nothing. It's just like this hard lump in my leg. And I'm like, well, I don't know what this is. And I'm 24, and I'm in like the best shape of my life. And I'm not sure if you guys have been deployed, but a lot of times when you are, all you do is work out. Like, there's nothing else to do sometimes. So I'm working out like 3 times a day. I'm running miles like crazy. I'm like in super great shape, keeping up with all the guys. So I didn't think it was anything super bad to my health. Maybe I pulled a muscle. I had no clue what it was. So I go to the medics like a week later, and they quickly like usher me away, and they're kind of like hush hush about it and not really saying what they think it is. And they're like, okay, we're going to send you to Baghdad to get a CT scan. I go to get that done. Then Baghdad gives me a choice, and they say, well, you can get you need an MRI, but you can also go back to Fob Echo. But we highly suggest that you go get an MRI. And I was like, I guess I should go with what the doctor's saying. I don't know. So I go get an MRI at Landstuhl in Germany, get that done. And then that's when I find out it's a tumor. And then I didn't know what a tumor was because I've never met anybody with a tumor, and I wasn't very sharp about cancer. All I knew was like cancer kills you, you get breast cancer, like lung cancer, all these different cancers, but I didn't think you can get cancer in your leg. So I didn't know what a tumor was, and I didn't associate that with cancer until I started looking it up on YouTube and online and Yahoo and all that stuff. So I find out that, a tumor could be benign or malignant, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, oh my God, what is this? So I'm in constant contact with my mother, and I'm telling her what's going on, and she's, making me ask all these questions and making sure I'm asking the right things, because I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to be saying. So get to the doctors, we do the MRI, we do the biopsy, and then they tell me that it's something called a nerve sheath tumor. And he says, we hope and pray it's not Ewing sarcoma. And I'm like, oh my God, like what are these things? Like, what is this stuff? I have no clue what it is. So I go online and I start looking it up, and both of them are cancers. And I'm like, holy shit, like this is really bad. Like I'm gonna die. This is how I'm going out. I'm 24 years old. I just was so shocked that I had cancer, and I was in the best shape of my life. I don't do drugs. I'm not a bad person. Like it just didn't make sense. And so then I immediately told my mother about it. And I remember her expression was so sad. She started screaming on the phone so loud. She dropped the phone. Like she had my nephew. He was with her, and he was little. He's like 2 years old, so he's crying anyway. She's crying, and she just starts telling me that she's gonna be there for me, and don't worry, and everything's gonna be all right, and she's gonna quit everything and come take care of me. Wherever they bring me, she's gonna come along. And I was like, okay, that's reassuring. So then I get sent to Walter Reed. And so this whole time, I think I have something called a nerve sheath tumor. And get to Walter Reed, I have to get a new biopsy because the old cells had died, and they want to make sure I have the right regimen. So got a new biopsy, and they come back and they tell me it's a Ewing sarcoma cancer. And I remember, oh my God, that's the one the doctor said he didn't want me to have. I'm like, oh my, this is just so bad. So I do some more research. And then it's the one that goes to your lungs, your spinal cord, your brainstem. They'll have to amputate whatever part of that body that it is, infected. Has a high rate of it reoccurring. And I'm just like, wow. Like 3 weeks ago, I was okay. Okay, I didn't know I had cancer. So I was okay. I didn't know I had cancer. And then 21 days later, I'm dying. I'm going to die. And all the doctors think I'm going to die. All of the chaplains are coming in. They're praying over me. The nurses are coming in and out. No one's ever seen a case of Ewing sarcoma before. So no one's like really knowing what to do and how to respond to what's going on with me. It was just really very dramatic, very scary. And I spent about 10 months in the hospital. I did 102 rounds of chemotherapy in less than a year. And I was extremely depleted of life by the time I was done. I couldn't even sign myself out on paper to be checked out of the hospital. I had to have my mother do it because I was so weak. I couldn't even hold a pen to write my name. It was very traumatic. I watched my friends die. I, had to learn how to walk again. I had this huge chunk they took out of my leg. So, they take away your identity. Like it was just insane and intense. And we really never knew what was going to be happening because the doctors were never really sure about my prognosis according to, what they saw online. So
I'm sorry. I didn't tell Amy your story. So she's like in shock over here. Her whole face is like, she's a mom. So she's like dying over here. And I apologize, but I didn't want to ruin. This is important to understand where I know about you because I, Instagram stalked you after you said you signed up, and I checked out everything. And
it's crazy scary. Yes.
Yeah. It was this. I think the hardest thing for me was thinking that I was gonna leave, die, and then my mom, and thinking, this is messed up. Like she has to watch me die. And my nephew is never going to get to know me ever. I'm never going to create a relationship with him. My sister's not going to have a sister. I just felt really bad that this was happening to me, of course, but then to them, because the after effect, they have to live the rest of their lives as well, missing an individual and feeling whatever the feelings are, with all of that. So it was hard, but I ended up pulling through, and my mom was there for me the entire time. From the day I started treatment, from the day we finished it and we were done, she took care of me. She quit her job in Texas. She left everything to come take care of me and be by my side. And I believe that because of her and her ability to just be my strong support system, that's something that I really needed at the time, And even though she couldn't take my pain physically away, like her being there and just being your mom and caring for you and taking care of you was something that nobody else had on the ward. Every single person on that ward passed away. I was the only one that lived on that ward. And there was like 13 originally of us on there. They all transitioned, they passed. I was the only one to live. And I was the only one who had a really strong support system there the entire time. So I think she's the reason why I'm here today. She really, really, really helped me.
And you were at Walter Reed?
So I was at Walter Reed. They saved me and my mom. Yeah.
Well, and you're here. So how are you now? I mean, is it cured? Not,
yes.
And you get checked constantly?
I get checked constantly. Yeah. So, so this cancer, it usually reoccurs before 5 years. So if you have a reoccurrence, it will happen within that 5-year frame. Thank goodness it has not come back. I'm 13 years out and hopefully clear and good, and it won't be coming back. So I'm in remission. I want to say I'm healed because I don't want it to come back. So, yep, I'm doing pretty well, and I've been able to use my experience of all of these things that have happened to me to my advantage now. So I do lots of speaking engagements all across the globe, to UK, to Asia, here in the States, just talking about my experience with cancer and how it helped me just realize how important we need a support system, and if there's one in place. And you don't have to go through cancer. It could be anything traumatic that's trauma to you, as long as you have somebody there to help kind of dig you out of that hole. I feel like it's really important. That's my message that I push now.
Yeah, my wife's friend just went through this, and same thing. So, and so they, my wife's a nurse with Kaiser, and so she knows everything. So of course, that's the worst thing you can be when one of your friends is going through this and knowing what can happen and everything. So, I'm just glad your mom was there to support you and be there for you.
She did so good. She did so great. I always tell her, I'm like, Mom, man, they think that's the best part of the story. She's like, oh, she thinks it was irresponsible of her. I'm like, no, man, that's like, you love your kids so much, you want to be there for them. My God, I'm like, I think that's so amazing. It always makes me want to cry, but we're not crying today. So
you're gonna make me cry,
right?
No, because I lost my dad at 12 of hairy cell leukemia. He was in the Air Force. He got Agent Orange, that whole thing. So I get tested constantly for white blood cell count higher, all just in case, because I was conceived after the fact. So, when he came back. So
yeah, it's really important to get yourself checked out. And I feel like the best thing for us to do as individuals, people, whatever, is listening to your body. Like early detection is so important. If something's going on and it's not normal, or it's it's out of the norm, then I feel like you need to get that checked out, no matter what it is, big, small, whatever it is. You definitely got to get it checked out, because if I hadn't got my leg looked at, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have it, because it was huge. It started out as probably like the size of an orange, and then when they kind of removed it and took it out, it was the size of a watermelon, like a baby watermelon. It was massive. It was really big. Yep, it was huge.
Well, and I think a lot of us, or I know guys are the worst, but you have to get checked. I just quick, and you don't have to tell me, but prior to the military, did you go to the doctors a lot? In your normal life? Yeah, as your normal life.
I not as much as I do now. No.
The reason I ask is I didn't see a dentist till I got in the Navy, because my parents didn't believe in it back then, right?
Wow.
Well, luckily. Yeah, I got one at 33.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Well, you either have good teeth and bad gums, or bad gums and good teeth. Whatever. One of the others. Well, I can't get it right today. But so I have the good teeth, but occasionally have gum issues. So my wife's the opposite. So
I'm the opposite.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have good gums and horrible teeth.
Yeah, I didn't. So one of the side effects with chemotherapy is it messes up the enamel on your teeth. My teeth were terrible. When I was finished and done with everything, my mom said my teeth looked soft like butter. Don't know what that means. I'm not quite sure, but that's what she said. And I had 15 cavities.
Wow.
15 of them. Yeah, 15 cavities in my teeth. Like in between every single tooth, there was like a cavity. And it's because of, the chemotherapy just sucked out all the moisture out of my life, my mouth, everything. It was just
killed everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was hard, but I'm better now.
So what's all right. So did the military retire you medically and all that? Okay.
Yep.
And so
I got medically retired in 2013, and I decided to get out because as soon as I left Walter Reed, I was stationed at Fort Meade in Maryland. It was, a great transition unit. It was wonderful. And they actually gave me the option then in 2010 to stay in or get out. I decided to stay in. And then they asked me, where do you want to go? And I was like, I want to go to Georgia. Not sure why I said that, but I did. And I was like, I went to Fort Stewart. And as soon as I got there, I was attached to another unit that was just getting back from deployment. And they informed me that, I don't remember what it was exactly, like a year later, I was going to be getting deployed again. And I was like, there's no way I can get deployed again. Like, I don't know why I got sick. Could have been the burn pits. It could have been the terrible water we were drinking. Like, I almost died. I don't think I can do this. And then, so not only do I not want to go back to war, because I don't know if that's the reason why I got cancer, but if that wasn't the case, I only have one good leg. So say we get into a firefight, I can't run like I used to. I'm going to be like a liability to somebody else. Somebody else is going to die because I cannot help. I can't do anything. They're going to try to protect me. We can't protect each other. So I was like, I just have to get out. So I ended up putting in my paper, got out, got medically retired in 2013. And it was a very rough transition because I was nervous. I didn't know if I was going to be able to be successful out of the military. I felt like, even though there's this whole transition part out of the military, I don't feel like it was good enough. I don't know. Or maybe I didn't take it serious. I don't know what it was, but the one portion also too, where they were doing my resume and the cover letters and stuff, I don't feel like it was quality work. It wasn't very good. All the resumes sounded the same. And it's like, how are we all going to be going for different jobs and different positions, but all our resumes are the same? So I felt like there was an unmet need there. And then I opened up a business that was catered to those services for the veterans, resumes and cover letters and all of that.
And what's it called?
Resume-Advantage.
Nice.
And Amy didn't know that either.
I didn't.
Yay!
No, I think it's important because transitioning out back, years ago or now, I don't think the services, some people get it and some people don't, right? There's certain bases have it, other bases do not.
Yeah.
We had a gentleman on, a few shows ago, and he works for a transitioning now. And he's like, I don't care where you are or whatever, email me and we'll help you.
Yeah. Yep. I think it's really important. I don't know. It didn't make any sense. We've given so much of our lives and we put our lives on the line for this amazing organization for our country. And then they kind of okay, I feel like they didn't spend much time trying to figure out who this individual was and what are they good at, what are their skills and stuff like that. Who is this person? And then they kind of just let you go. I was like, this is not going to be good. So I ended up going back into school. I'm sorry.
Oh, very good. What did you go to school for?
I got a master's in writing from the school called Savannah College of Art and Design. And that was just kind of I needed some time. So it was kind of buying myself some time because I didn't know what the hell I was going to do. I was like, I don't know what I'm good at. I wanted to retire in the military. All of my dreams have been ripped away from me. And now I got to start all over. And the plan I had is no longer a plan. It's not an option anymore. So I needed to buy myself some time. And so furthering my education was the option for myself at the time that I felt was best.
So looking back and where you are now,
Mm-hmm.
has this helped you over? I mean, are you this is the worst thing that ever happened to me? Or is this this is the worst thing, but it's really helped me grow or do this, and I get to help a lot more people? Are you following what I'm getting at?
So I feel like I really didn't like cancer.
I didn't say I didn't like it. I'm talking about the episode, or
But
I'm gonna put us back on the screen. You were just talking. I wanted you to be primary, so
yeah. So I feel like after cancer, all of that and all that experience, I feel like it has really motivated me. It has really made me way less fearful of failure And it's made me really appreciate like how quick time can change and how anything can just happen out of nowhere. So it's like, really, I don't know how to explain. It's just really, it's put so much drive into me. So I appreciate that part, but I am still like super scared that it might come back one day. And because the treatment was so hard and so much, chemotherapy, I don't think my body can take that at my age now. Not that I'm like super old or anything.
You're not old. Don't even go there.
No. It's just so much treatment in my body. I feel like it's beating it down to death. Like, I don't think I'd be able to take that anymore. But I do feel like I've been able to take these disadvantages and make them work to my advantage. So I think that's amazing. That's great. I have a different outlook on life for sure. So, I mean, yeah, it's good, but the health part is not so cool.
Do you think with transitioning services, I'm starting to really feel like the part that's most broken is for junior enlisted, whereas I think the part for senior enlisted and officers, they're almost seen within the corporate world or valued kind of different.
Oh.
And I'm wondering if the transition piece for the junior enlisted is the part that's broken, which is interestingly also the numbers, because there's, a ton more junior enlisted getting out of the military than there are, where they say only 20% of those who join whatever branch retire from it.
Wow.
So 80% transition before retirement.
I feel like that is probably true because all of the resumes, not all of them, the majority of them that I get, they're all like juniors. They're enlisted. They haven't made it past E5. They're in there just for a couple tours, couple years, and then they're in. I get a couple of them that are like officers, and they've been in for 10 plus years, but that's not a lot. So it's usually you're probably right. And it's not a lot of officers that I get when I do come through. It's always enlisted individuals. Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of officers already, they have their college already. They know where they're going, and how did you get there? I went to West Point or I went to Naval Academy, what I mean?
Right.
So then it's like, I went to Harvard and I don't have to worry about it, So it's Naval Academies and West Point, that's not, but I mean, I see where Amy's point is.
Yeah.
Except for the Army, most services don't get up to pass E4 in the first 4 to 6 years, right? Only the Army pushes you. So, I mean, it's amazing the rank you get in the Army, how fast it is. I look at my son. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. It took me forever to get up there, in the Navy. So.
Wow.
But I think what you also bring it up, it's a numbers game. So here at Joint Base Lewis McChord, we have 45,000 Army and 4,000 Air Force. So in 45,000, even if 10, so if 20,000 are E4 and 10,000, you know what I mean? Like, it's technically, most likely, it is like 20,000 E4s on JBLM. And then you have lower amounts of each E grade above that and lower amounts of E grades below that. And so it's a numbers game. And so I think it would be interesting to go to the percentages. But I think for transitioning, just like Frank said, it's such a different conversation for the 20-something versus the 40-something,
Yep.
But I think, and this is just my rolling theory based on all these conversations that we're having, is the broken pieces for the junior enlisted and all the cherry picking. Oh, we did these great transition stories are usually with a more senior enlisted or officer.
Possibly. That makes sense.
Can you do a white paper on that, Amy? I appreciate it.
I can use chalk on my chalkboard behind me.
No, but I think it's, most people who do one tour, they're ready to get out. They're focusing on something else. I used mine to get my bachelor's and master's while I was in, and I used it totally different. A lot of people, though, in the first 2 years, they're trying to figure out what they're going to do with their life, right? And then they have 2 years left. I was in for 5 years, 5 months, and 14 days, but who was counting? Because I had to extend. Yeah, I had to extend for school and that kind of stuff. They do it differently back then than they do now. Like, I know with the Army, it's like I'm going to be a medic. That's all you're going to be. You go right to school, AIT for medic, and you're there. You're going to be this other thing, respiratory therapy. You go for this, and then AIT respiratory therapy, and you're there. Where before they do your medic, and then you get your specialty. And then the problem is they would send a respiratory therapist to war when they need to send a medic to war. So that's why it's changed now. That's why it's different ranks and different, division. I don't know if it's different in the Navy, but there you go. But I think it is. We need to help more junior enlisted get out and transition out. But I didn't realize how big the Army was. I didn't realize, how huge the Army is, and that's why you can get up in rank more, because there's just so many more people. So if you're wanting to help more and more people, you should focus on. And I'm not saying ignore the other ones, but the Army has more people that you could focus on to help out in the junior ranks to help them out. And
that's what I usually get. I don't think I've had any Air Force, never had a Marine. It's just a lot of it.
Where are you at right now, if you don't mind?
Okay. I live in, I almost said Fort Lauderdale. I live near Miami.
Okay. Well, how many bases are around there? What bases are around there?
Well, there's one base. There's one. It's Homestead. It's a little south, but so my services, everything is online. So I don't have like an in-house place where anybody can like come and knock on the door and stuff like that. So. But all the people I do, I'm gonna say like 95% of it's the Army.
But that's also your service, so.
That is true. So I don't mind. I don't mind for any of them. It's always great. It's always fun to help them get the job and to let them know that they qualify for that, whatever that position is that they're trying to get. A lot of people don't know how to communicate their like experience and kind of tailor it to civilian sector world stuff. So it's always fun to help out.
I think a lot of service people don't know how to do that. How do I do this? I'm doing this infantry, whatever it is. How do I take that and do something else? But what they don't understand is you're task oriented. You understand certain things. You understand that on time means 10 minutes early. You understand that other things that are totally different than regular civilian people in the same situation.
Management, all of that, cross-functional management, bunch of stuff. There's budgeting. They've handled huge amounts of budgets for different things. Inventory. There's just so much stuff that they don't know that they qualify for. And they think that they're just like, I don't know, maintenance or something. It's like, no, you've done so much more than that. So much more. So I feel like it's a very rewarding thing to be able to do, to help them and their family. I helped one guy get a job. He was in the military, I don't know, quite some time. So he ended up getting out and he got a job. So he was getting paid like $60,000. And he doubled it. We were able to get him a job for $122,000 in it was in like Idaho or something, some sort of plant place that he wanted to work at. But he got the job, and we did the resume. The company was blown away by the resume. I'm like, good job, Brandi. But it was, it's always very rewarding to help them and their family and give them some sort of sense of value outside of the military. That they, they're still doing well and they still means something, even though they're not attached to an organization.
So do you do online training? Do you do any of that kind of stuff to help people? Or do you just like, give me your resume and I'll talk to you and I'll do it for you?
Yeah. So when I lived in Savannah, I would go to a couple of universities over there and I would help with different departments for college. So I would teach them how to do those. So I didn't do any like online courses, but I go to schools and we do little workshops. But I haven't done any of that since COVID happened and, all that fun stuff.
I think you're missing out with your personality and who you are, that you could do this online and have virtual, just like we're doing now.
Yeah, I need to do that. I've been thinking about it. I have Chelsea, who reached out to Elite Meet. Do you guys know who they are?
I don't know who they are.
No. Okay, it's another organization for the military or a veteran-owned program, and they do transition stuff. So she's meeting me up with somebody named Megan, and we're going to talk about putting a course together for the fall And she was telling me all the different numbers and how many people are going to be registering. I'm like, whoa, this is going to be big. Like, geez, but I'm ready. So it's going to be good. I'll be able to help more people again. And I think go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I thought I had a delay on my side. I apologize.
Oh, no.
If you need any help at all with any of that kind of stuff, Amy, I can help you get you in the right place. So just let us know.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah,
I mean, because they're doing it yourself, under your own label to do. It's not that difficult. So
yeah, I love it. Just let me know. My services, just put them everywhere. I'm here to help. And I would love to take on more than just the Army. So Navy, Marine Corps, you guys just bring them on over.
Or even civilians, right? You take on civilians too.
I do. I do a lot of civilians now. Civilians they're good. They're a little bit more picky, but yeah, it's not as bad.
You mean they're not as trusting and as grateful? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, they're a little hard to deal with sometimes. It's just like, gosh.
Well, let's stay in your lane because you like them better anyway. So
yeah, it's true. Let me help out the military people.
Amy, any questions?
Well, I always have my favorite question. Do you do any volunteer work?
I do. Yes.
Share who you like to volunteer with.
Okay. Yes. So I have done. Let's see. There's a lot of schools and universities that I'll volunteer for, that I'll help for. Some stuff is for like employment services. Like there's this organization called the 100 Black Men. I do all of their collegiate resumes. I have, who else is there that I've been doing stuff with? There's another program called Ella Foundation that I was doing resumes for. They were individuals that were just getting out of jail. So I was helping with that. Besides the employment services, I help with different organizations for doing speaking and talking to their organizations or their companies or whatever they're having me come there for. There's this one called A Moment of Magic. It's a nonprofit, and it's catered towards the cancer community. So it's little kids that have cancer, and these individuals dress up as characters from Disney shows, and they come there and they make them happy and they support them and all that. So I've done some speaking engagements for them. I do lots of different podcasts. What else do we do? Oh, I said we, as there's more than one person. What do I do? I mean, yeah. There's another thing called Bamba Box that I've partnered up with, and I help out with that. So we give away free gift boxes to individuals that are sick with cancer, or something, their health is not the best, we'll say. And then they're caretakers. So we pack up these boxes, we get all these toys and gadgets and things inside of there. And then each recipient has a chance to win a virtual concert. So we have somebody named Blackberry Smoke that is one of the artists. We have two other ones that I can't say yet because we don't have it under contract. But his name is Ryan Hamner, and he's a 4-time cancer survivor. He's the one who came up with Bamba Box. So we deliver smiles in a box to kids and caretakers. So that's pretty awesome as well.
It is very cool. My company does Fairway Cares, and they do boxes for cancer patients, but they also do loss of life and other kind of like life-altering things.
Yeah, so, that's nice.
She's a volunteer-holic is the problem. She puts me to shame. She puts everybody to shame. It's like we're lazy compared to her.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. No. I had to have her take that off her name because every time I saw it, it made me feel bad. Because she's...
No. But it's
true. That is her job all day long, is to volunteer for her company, to do stuff for her company that she works for.
So I have the best job in the world.
So if you ever need anything with that line, that's who to go to. She also She also runs suits for vets in her area, where if you need a suit for a job interview, you go to her. She gets you all set up and all that stuff. And she's looking for other people to put that on in other places in the country. So
that is great. I've heard about that program. I haven't used the services myself, but I've heard about it. So that's great. That's good.
Yeah. So we've given out, I think, 8,500 suits to service members, and it's all branches. But like Ed said, it's just local here in Washington State. So you might have heard of one that is maybe in another state, and so we have not connected with other people running the same kind of program. Although there's something called Deploy Your Dress that is nationwide, and so. But I do love to volunteer, and I can connect as much as I can and do things. And I'm going to get Ed to help with the Piestewa Challenge next year, doing 175 miles.
Ooh, that's a lot. Jeez.
In a week.
Stationed in Washington State. Is that where you're at?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. My sister's going to be there at the end of this year, so I might meet you.
That would be wonderful. Yeah, definitely. We can stay connected. I would love that, and anything I can do to help her or you. Absolutely.
Thank you.
I'm in California, so if you ever come here, let me know.
Where in California are you?
I'm actually in Modesto, California, Central Valley. So we're about an hour from San Francisco, hour from Sacramento.
Do you know where Novato or Marin County?
Yes, I do know where those are.
Yeah, I'm from there.
Are you?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You're like, I know where that's at.
Yeah, we all know where that is.
Yep, Novato. Yeah. I lived there for so long. And then, we moved away and stuff, but.
Yeah. A lot of people left California, but we still have 40 million people still here. So
somehow it just keeps coming, Like, how is this possible? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's why when they say, yeah, well, there are not enough of them. We need more to leave because we need their house so we can sell it and I can do the loans on them. Anyway, that's what I do. I do mortgages. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's
my specialty is business owners and vets. So.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yep. Anything? I always ask, what are you still using that you learned in the military?
What am I using? I'm still using in the military.
That you learned in the military,
Gosh, what am I? I've learned so many different things. I think the ability to be able to adapt to stuff when like stuff happens out of nowhere or like super unexpected. I feel like I've been able to that experience because being deployed in Iraq, my God, I swear it was just so hard to like accept it. So being able to adapt to like circumstances that you're not prepared for, I feel like I've definitely incorporated that into my life. And because of that, I'm way less stressed out about stuff. Like when things happen and it's not really like planned the way I want it to, I'm like, oh, it's okay. Like now we have to like work together. Like me and this situation have to work together to create like this new experience that I want. And a lot of people I feel get caught up on, they have a certain way that they want something to happen. And then it doesn't happen that way. And they get pissed off and they get stuck on this, however it's supposed to be. And it's so hard for them to like make a transition or to accept this new change. But if you kind of work with it and learn how to work with it and kind of accept it and make it work for you, I feel like it's so much easier. And the military has definitely taught me that nothing is going to be like, stable in this sense. Like everything's going to be changing, evolving, moving around, and you have to learn how to move with that. So military has geared me up for that.
So everything, the constant is change, is what you're saying, basically.
Yes. Thank you.
No,
Yeah.
I can see that. That's my industry in general. If you don't like it today, just wait till tomorrow. It'll be worse.
Yeah. Oh no, not worse. Don't say worse. I did not expect that at all. Oh my God.
I didn't say it was gonna be better. If you don't like today, tomorrow will be worse. Somebody will get involved and mess it all up, especially the government. So.
Oh God, I don't want to talk about that. Yeah.
No, just because the government always tries to help situations, and usually they make it worse. So.
Yeah, but that's definitely what I've learned for sure. That adaptability, just learn to adapt and go with it. Yeah.
Brandi, I really appreciate you coming on today.
Yeah,
me too. Thank you.
Yeah. Are we done? Let's not be done. I'm just kidding.
We can talk afterwards. I'm sure not everybody wants to keep listening to us talk. But I think it's very important for them to understand, what you went through. I mean, I'm glad that I was able to get connected with you and have you come on our show, because I think it's important to help vets transition.
Yes.
And I hope we would like you to be part of that with us. If you would like to be part of that, let us know, to be able to help people. If people have questions, we can send them your way.
Oh yeah, send them on over. Send them over. I think I would love to give a workshop, and I'll do it for free. I don't want to charge anybody to teach them, but I would love to do a workshop and teach people how to do the services or do the resumes. Then they won't have to hire anybody, and they kind of know how to do it themselves. Little knowledge.
I think that's a great idea, and let's talk more about that right afterwards. Amy, did you have any other questions? Otherwise, I'm going to say goodbye to everybody.
All right. No, I'll just say goodbye. And if you're watching us on YouTube, please hit subscribe.
That was my line, but nice try. Thanks for taking it. Brandi, do you have anything else you want to throw on there?
I have nothing else. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm excited to talk offline.
Hey, if anybody wants to get in contact with you, what's the best way to reach you? Email? What's your?
Yeah. My email is, I have a couple of them. So we'll say my resume email is Brandi, Brandi Benson @resume-advantage.com. And then you can follow me on Instagram. I have a personal account and a business account. Good Lord. So the personal is @BrandiL.Benson. And then my business account is Brandi. Oh, wait, no. Business is @resume-advantage. Okay.
All right, we got it out there now. All right, and everybody, thank you for listening today or watching. If you were watching, thank you. And if you're on YouTube, like Amy said, please subscribe and share. And again, thank you so much for being on today, Brandi.
No problem.